The abduction phenomenon, regardless of the type of being reported, greys, blondes, reptilians, etc., is consistent across thousands of cases. Abductees undergo various medical procedures and receive information in the form of symbols or images, often with unclear meaning but mainly related to future Earth disasters. The beings refer to themselves as watchers, custodians, or guardians of Earth and its life, preparing for global changes that will impact our planet. Some have claimed to come from different parts of the universe or a very distant place. One of the most unsettling aspects of the reported abductions is the sight of rooms filled with hundreds of glass tubes containing hybrid fetuses, similar to a hydroponic garden. In some cases, abductees are shown nurseries of hybrid infants or rooms full of hybrid children of varying ages. The beings often bring an infant or a child to the women to be held and loved, claiming that it is their own. Both men and women report this, though it is more commonly experienced by women. Betty Andreessen Luca, an alien abductee, has been the subject of investigation for more than 20 years and has been featured in 4 books by UFO investigator Ray Fowler. In his book The Watchers Fowler recounts a hypnosis session in which Betty remembered being told by the beings who had abducted her that man will become sterile, due to the polluted environment. Additionally, she was informed that there are good and bad watchers, which Betty referred to as angels. She was warned that some of them are against man, that will hurt man and destroy man. References to watchers, good and bad angels, and hybrid babies can be found in many ancient texts, including the Old Testament. This is believed to be due to the influence of the books of Enoch, which were written by anonymous authors but credited to the prophet Enoch, the son of Cain and father of Methuselah. These books were highly regarded by early Jewish scholars and thus had a great impact on the Old Testament. In 1947, parts of the books of Enoch written in Aramaic were discovered among the scraps of parchment in the caves of Qumran, having been placed there by the Essenes, a Jewish sect, nearly 2,000 years ago. These are the famous Dead Sea Scrolls. Another version of the books of Enoch exists in Ethiopian. According to Aramaic texts, Enoch was the first human born of the earth to learn writing, science, and wisdom from the angels. The Book of the Watchers reveals that these angels are divided into good and bad watchers. The good watchers are said to have been sent by the Lord to teach humans and bring justice and equity to the world. Unfortunately, the bad watchers used the knowledge they imparted for wicked purposes due to their own sins. The watchers' transgression was allowing their desires to take control of them. When the evil watchers saw the daughters of man, they lusted after them and began to corrupt themselves with them. When the sons of God saw the daughters of man, they could not resist their urges. In response to the watchers' sins against humanity, Enoch was sent to heaven in physical form to testify against them. He informed God that the watchers had started to go to the daughters of men, thus making them impure. As punishment for their wickedness, God destroyed humanity, including the hybrid race of beings who were the offspring of humans and watchers, by causing a great flood. The evil watchers were then thrown into a fiery pit and imprisoned by the 4 chiefs of the good watchers, the archangels Michael, Sariel, Raphael, and Gabriel. Another reference to the watchers was found in the same cave as the books of Enoch, but was not discovered until 1992, when 2 biblical scholars, Robert Eisenman and Michael Wise, published their book The Dead Sea Scrolls Uncovered. Among the 50 documents included in this book for the first time is a reference to the watchers that is unique, for it provides one of the few physical descriptions of them. This text, called The Testament of Amram, describes the experience of a person named Amram in which an angel and a demon were wrestling over his soul. Amram asked them, "Who are you, that you are thus empowered over me?" The 2 replied, "We have been empowered and rule over all mankind. Which of us do you choose to rule?" Amram then looked at them and noticed that one of them was terrifying in his appearance, like a serpent, with a cloak of many colors yet very dark. He then looked again and noticed that the other had a visage like a viper. Amram asked, "This watcher, who is he?" The 2 replied, "This watcher, and his 3 names are Belial, Prince of Darkness, and King of Evil." What makes this testament so interesting is the fact that a lesser-known character named Amram is quite a significant figure. It turns out that Amram was the father of one of the most renowned contactees in history, the individual who led the Jews out of slavery in Egypt. This individual is, of course, Moses. Among all the types of extraterrestrial intelligent beings that abduct humans, the ones with a reptilian appearance are one of the common ones. From the previous description, it seems that hybridizing with humans is one of the purposes of their abduction, and Betty's experience serves as evidence and witness to these events. To further attest to the reality of hybridization, the ancient scroll found at the Dead Sea in 1947 is mentioned, which records facts about hybridization. The scroll mentions good watchers and bad watchers, which sound like angels and evil snakes in the Bible, and this reminds me of the Anunnaki species mentioned by Professor Sitchin, or the two factions of Enki and Enlil in Sumerian mythology. Enki is close to humans, while Enlil sets a clear boundary with them. Enlil finally caused the Great Flood and destroyed humanity, which is similar to the different versions of the origin of the Great Flood in the Bible. Regardless of which version, it sounds like pure race wanted to eliminate the mixed race, using any reason as an excuse. In other words, the Great Flood also serves as evidence of the existence of hybrids. The Dead Sea Scrolls are again mentioned, which describe the physical appearance of angels and demons, which is related to the reptilian appearance, and the witness this time is Moses' father.
Among all the types of extraterrestrial intelligent beings that abduct humans, the ones with a reptilian appearance are one of the common ones. From the previous description, it seems that hybridizing with humans is one of the purposes of their abduction, and Betty's experience serves as evidence and witness to these events. To further attest to the reality of hybridization, the ancient scroll found at the Dead Sea in 1947 is mentioned, which records facts about hybridization. The scroll mentions good watchers and bad watchers, which sound like angels and evil snakes in the Bible, and this reminds me of the Anunnaki species mentioned by Professor Sitchin, or the two factions of Enki and Enlil in Sumerian mythology. Enki is close to humans, while Enlil sets a clear boundary with them. Enlil finally caused the Great Flood and destroyed humanity, which is similar to the different versions of the origin of the Great Flood in the Bible. Regardless of which version, it sounds like pure race wanted to eliminate the mixed race, using any reason as an excuse. In other words, the Great Flood also serves as evidence of the existence of hybrids. The Dead Sea Scrolls are again mentioned, which describe the physical appearance of angels and demons, which is related to the reptilian appearance, and the witness this time is Moses' father. These two pieces of evidence of close ties between humans and reptilian-appearing intelligent species, and one unsupported speech, as well as an analogy to different classical inferences, still do not show a connection to human evolution. My thought is that the gene modification mentioned in the Lacerda file can best explain all questions about human origins. Let's continue to look.
If that were the only reference to reptilian beings in ancient texts, it could easily be disregarded. But the stories of such creatures date back to the earliest human writings, those of Sumer, meaning land of the guardians, Babylon, meaning gate of the gods, and other civilizations of ancient Mesopotamia. Among the thousands of clay tablets that have been recovered and translated dating from the earliest recorded history, are documents that record events dating back 240,000 years. One of these, the Sumerian king list, tells the story of the god, and chief god of an extraterrestrial race called the Anunnaki, and his sons, Enki and Enlil. It is clear from the texts and the illustrations left by the Sumerians that at least some of these gods, including Enki, also known as Ea, were of a different form. It is Enki who gave the first people the fruit of the tree of knowledge and who later saved humanity by warning a Noah-like figure of the Great Flood. These stories are so similar to the Old Testament that one can only conclude that the Old Testament authors drew inspiration from them. In the Sumerian tale, Enki is given the task of creating a worker force to help the Anunnaki till the soil and mine the ore for which they came to Earth. This he does through considerable trial and error, in the process creating strange creatures. The legend implies that Enki possessed a highly advanced technology that included the capability of genetically altering the indigenous species. Using a mysterious process to create a clay-like substance, he was able to bind upon it the image of the gods, indicating that Enki used Anunnaki genes to create a hybrid species. It also implies that some of the early humans may have had a different physical form.
My perspective will be aired in the final episode next time. Stay tuned. If you liked this video, please share, subscribe, and turn on notifications.